I just got this unit here, which I will open and install with you guys in a minute. Well, actually, I got it again because I had it, then sold it, and now I got it again because I realized I needed it. And I'm pretty sure this happened to many of you too. So this inspired this video, buying and selling gear, then rebuying and selling again. Why, what not to do, and why this happens. Let's get to the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to MixbusTv. Hope you're having a great day and stay safe out there. Before we start, please check the info box down below for my mixing courses on Pro Mix Academy. Brand new one, Mixing Modern Rock, was just released a few days ago. Also, free plugins, discounts, and special offers. If the videos are helping you, you want to support the channel, click the join button, see all the perks of becoming a MixbusTv member, including mix consultations with me via Skype or email. So, like I said in the video, I had to rebuy this unit. I had it for several years in my 500 series rack, and I used it successfully. I loved it. I've always said to whoever asked me how it was, even after I sold it, that was an amazing unit, super versatile, but at some point I sold it. And at that time it made sense for me because I had so many compressors, and this is a compressor, that I didn't feel like I needed this one. Even though I was using it, I wasn't using it that much. And in the meantime, my gear list changed a lot. I got a lot of colored unit, colored compressor, colored EQ, the SSL Fusion, which is a color box. 2 more colored units are coming in these next days. And while I was doing one of my latest mixes, I realized that I actually needed a more transparent compressor. And I'm pretty sure this happened to many of you, buying and selling gear and then realizing, wait, actually that was really good, and I tried some other things and they're not better than the one I had before. Or like in my case, your gear list changed and now you have too much of something and you lack that one that you had before. Is that a bad thing to buying and selling gear? I think it's pretty normal, and it's actually a good sign. It's normal and it's a good sign because first, it means that you evolve as a mix engineer and your ears are better trained over time and your skills improved. So it happens sometimes that you blame a machine for not getting the result that you want. Maybe, oh, it's too transparent, I need more color. And then you get all the color that you want and realize, well, I'm still not there. So it's not the machine, it's my skills. And when you reach the goal, when you reach the sound that you want, then you go back and revisit the units that you had before, and you say, you know what, actually that unit, now that I know how to do this, I can use it in that way, I can use it in this way. But also music genres change. And as a professional mix engineer, maybe for a couple of years you work for the most part on one genre, and the next 2 years you work more on a different genre, okay? So your client base, what lands on your desk, also dictates what units you need. And if you only mix for yourself, we go back to the first point, you're better trained, you develop a new taste, different taste, or you couldn't really find use for that machine and you were using it just because you had it, but then later on you realize the potential because now you have more knowledge, more experience mixing, and you remember what that machine was doing or was capable of doing, and now you know how to integrate it in your system. But again, I want to stress that this is a good sign in my opinion. Granted that you probably lose some money by buying and selling and rebuying, but that's the name of the game, okay? Sometimes you land a great deal on a used unit, sometimes you sell and you need to sell fast and you need to rebuy new, so you lose some. That's the game. And I'm curious to know if you guys had a unit, bought a unit, then sold it, and then you had to buy it again. Whether because you tried some other things that you thought were better and realized, actually that one that I had worked better, or if the genres you mix change, so you need different gear. But let's talk about this specific unit. Let's open it up first of all. And it's the Elysia Expressor, all right? So I had this, like I said, and I really, really loved it. But back then I had more compressors, believe it or not, than I have now, and I had limited IOs, analog inputs and outputs. I needed more EQs, and I decided to sell it because I also needed space on my 500 series rack for actually the Wes Audio Prometheus, my Pultec style EQ. But this compressor saved my ass several times. This is an extremely versatile compressor. You can read any of my old comments on this one. First of all, I always called it the king of fast because this can be as fast almost as a brick wall limiter. So it's great for example, taming the high tall peaks because it's transparent and it has so many variables on board. You can tailor it to be completely transparent, but it also have a very nice sheen, a very nice character, even not counting the warm button here, okay? That is instant color. It adds just a color imprint on your material just pressing that button, which is really nice. It works at least 50% of the time to enrich the material you run through it. And this is basically a wildcard compressor. It's so versatile that you can literally use it on everything. It's a stereo gain control, so no dual mono, but you can use it on mono tracks, you can use it on stereo tracks. Me, I used to use this on the stereo output of the vocal bus, or I also occasionally used it on 2-bus when I didn't have other compressors that I have now. But what makes this compressor unique, in my opinion, is all the features that it has on board. And I have a dedicated video review on this one from where I had it before. So you want to hear it in action, you want to see all the controls and details, go watch that one. But I just want to mention few because are the key features that made me decide to get this one back. First of all, it has the negative ratio down here. So it's capable of making crazy sound and shape the envelope and the dynamic of the material to make it sound like no other compressor, literally no other compressor on the market. Aside probably the big brother, the Empressor, I think it has the same function. The next one is the auto fast function. This is a godsend, okay? So you can set your attack on the slow side, but by pressing the auto fast, you will catch those fast transient that happen here and there in the track and just grab those, but your attack overall is still slow. So that, until you tried it, you can't really understand how useful it is. And many plug-in compressors, I think after this one came out, implemented the same function because really is one of those features that has a real use in mixing, and it actually helps tracks to be contained and dynamically controlled without too many artifacts. Below the auto fast, it has another function that I really love, is the algorithm for the release. It can be linear or logarithmic, okay? So this completely changes the shape of the release, and either it makes it pump or it makes it very transparent. Regardless of where you put the release, just changing the algorithm of the release at the same release time, it will have a completely different behavior. It makes this compressor really fun to use. Next one, another function that I think every compressor should have, is the gain reduction limiter. So for example, you set your threshold really high, your ratio really high because you want an aggressive kind of compression, but you can tell the compressor to only compress 4 dB top. So without that, with such extreme settings, your compressor would probably compress something like 10, 12, 18 dBs. And this way you can have the same grab, the same aggression, but you limit your gain reduction to 2, 3, 4, 6, as many as you want. Really cool feature. It has, of course, a high pass filter. It goes from 35 to 1K, so really is useful. You can almost use it as a de-esser or anyway focus on the high mid range, the harsh parts of any track. Like I said, it also has a warm button that introduces harmonic distortion and a mix knob. Overall, this is a real workhorse compressor. Why I felt the need to get it back? Well, exactly for the same reason and for the same use. I used to use this back then more often. I use this on many things. It's great for bass, it's great for any kind of groups, but I used it most times on the final vocal stereo bus. So just to explain better, let's say I have a lead vocal, 2 doubles, and a couple of ad-libs, and they go to a Vox out bus, and each of those vocals are compressed. For example, I have a distressor on the lead vocals, I have one of the 2 Heritage on the double, and maybe an LA3A and 1176 on the ad-libs, and those all go to the final Vox out bus that then goes to the mix bus. Well, on that bus, I actually felt the need for the past 4 or 5 mixes to have a transparent compressor that would shave off the last 3 to 4 dBs of peaks on that vocal stem. Because even though I compress singularly all those vocals that are coming into that bus, when they add together an ad lib or a double or a very loud vowel, the sum will bring the dynamic up again. So I need another stage of compression, but because maybe I used all color compressor before, this one comes into play. And I started thinking, okay, what machine I can get, that is transparent, that is versatile, that I can use here. And if I don't use it there, I can use it somewhere else. And I started thinking about all the units that are on the market, all the units that I had before. And I kept circling back to this. So I was like, hey, you know what? This happens. And like I said, it's a good sign. So I got it back, and now it's gonna be in my 500 series rack again. This is the name of the game. I'm lucky that I need machines because I have so many mixes and masters, so the expense is justified. This is not it though, because I have 2 more hardware units coming in the next 10 days, let's say, and we're gonna unbox them, present them, and review them. And those, I'm sure, will get a lot of attention from you guys. They're amazing, amazing units. I can give you a hint. One is a 3-unit rack space, and one is 1-unit rack. So guess in the comments down below. Gear list here is going up quickly. I'm already out of input and outputs on my Motu, but actually that will spark another video, because with the new machines, I'll be short of 2 channels, 2 mono or 1 stereo, okay, in and out. And I don't want to buy another 16 channel, because if I do that, then I want to fill all the other channels and it's going to get expensive and crazy, and I will never stop the cycle. So I found a solution, still keeping my 24 channels, but having 26 machines. I will show you how you can use 2 machines or more. I will show you how you can integrate another 2 channels. In my case, it's a stereo unit, or 2 more, without having to buy more converters and without using a patch bay. So stay tuned for that video, is gonna come. And soon in one of the next videos, I will answer what is probably the most asked question for the past 5 months, which is, I wanna buy my first analog piece of gear. What should I buy? So that is gonna be an interesting video, because I will go through all the scenarios that I can think of, because of course there's not one answer. It depends on what your setup and what you do. So keep an eye out for that video. But that question pops at least 4, 5, 6 times a day, especially since Westlake did the spotlight on me. The 6th episode, the 3 are already out, the 3 are gonna come out. They come out once a week. Links are all over the social media pages, so MixbusTv, Westlake Pro. Those are interesting videos and interviews, so check them out. Anyway, let's install this bad boy in the rack. Okay, so installing 500 series modules, it's pretty easy. When you have a double slot like this, you just need to make sure that both cards are gonna go into their slots, and it should be fairly easy to understand if they are there or not. Right now they're not, and there you go. Let's try to power up. And here we go. Everything's working. All the lights at the bottom. The Elysia logo is lit up. And this is our new configuration for the 500 series rack. Nice knobs. The Elysia knobs are always nice. They stick a lot out, but it's nice. You can spot them very easily, in a rack. Same for those knobs. But yeah, anyway, this is it for this video with the new, not really new for me, Expressor 500 series in the rack. Stay tuned for the new amazing 2 units that are coming. I'm pretty sure you will love them. I know I do. And thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you like the video, please don't forget to leave a like. Click the bell icon. It helps the channels a lot. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.